The CFOs in their kind of stewardship of driving and allocating and deploying capital have their role to play in financing for sustainability. Being placed within at the heart of their organizations, they have a real capability of driving strategy. So beyond just the financing of some sustainable project, but really gearing and reallocating capital towards use of sustainability and transforming businesses long term.
What are the things that we can do? It's really taking action. Right? It's not just giving money to other people to help do things, but it's us taking action, and it's building these things into the core of our business operation.
The commonality of the profession of being a CFO, and frankly the influence that we have on our boards, with our CEOs, with our executive teams, with our investors, with market commentators, all of that means that CFOs are in a pretty privileged position to sponsor change.
Before some visible innovation, and I'm going to tell you, it's clear that you have to change the culture of your company. You have to found a group of managers that believe in it, and progressively will change the culture of your company, the way you think, the way you act. Don't harm people, but help people.
And what we're pushing for is sort of new innovation instruments that mirror what's happening in the mainstream, sort of what we call mainstream sort of finance sector, and focusing on how those instruments can be utilized and leveraged to drive that change.
When you look from the economic point of view, what we're doing in transactions like this is monetizing the ESG strategy. We're really generating value to the company. This incentivizes companies to do the right things. I believe that the more we develop this market, it is going to be beneficial to everyone.
You can not only finance good things, because if you finance good things, I think the sum of the good things will not make a transition. You have to make everyone ready to make a transition towards a new model. And these instruments, the DAO is becoming mainstream. Brings exactly this concept.
What we forecast is sustainability-linked bonds and loans will be much bigger than the green bond market. So we're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar marketplace in just a few years. And that allows companies to set targets with respect to sustainability across a broad spectrum of issues, across all the SDGs.
Everybody's talking about sustainable linked loans, which you have a financial benefit. It's not that you receive it, you are granted a financial benefit. You wanted the financial benefit. A sustainable company is a less risk company. Being a less risk company, it also deserves a lower cost of fund. It also deserves a higher valuation. So that's something that you wanted.
And I think this opens a new avenue of potential interest, because by doing a transaction like this, we're bringing to the table investors that would not normally look at an emerging market companies. Because of the ESG component, they decided to pay attention to what we were doing. I think this is very beneficial to the region.
And then in our recent $25 billion bond offering, we brought in 9, whether minority, female or veteran-owned firms in earlier in the process, where they could bring investors into that offering in a way that historically they wouldn't have been able to. So in addition to supporting our financing needs, we're doing it in a way that also promotes our social justice goals by giving people the opportunity to demonstrate their capabilities.
The key thing to reflect on is the financing for those SDGs, for those goals. How public sector alone will never cover, the estimated 7 trillion financing gap.
SDG number 17, it's the most important thing that we can think about in many respects, at least in terms of closing this financing gap. People should take a fresh look, if they haven't, at what's changed in the past few years and the ability to partner with these institutions to find those investment opportunities.
Having this dialogue with the local authorities, the local society, the different stakeholders, It's a problem that you cannot solve it alone.
The commonality between people is what is striking and uplifting. So I believe when you ally that with youth, with the generations of consumers who have the spending power now today, that will be the force for change.